We have a chicken processing production factory going on here. What are you guys doing? Can we close that door real fast, please? 1, 2, 3. Welcome to Financial Friday. It has been a couple months since we have done this because we were traveling last month, and then the month before I think I wanted to do our taxes for one of these, but we haven't really finished filing our taxes yet. But this is something we do the last Friday of every month, and we're trying to share our finances with you guys. And there's a number of reasons why we do this. One is because you guys see our lifestyle. We're showing you aspects of it that are pretty intimate and we think important. And finances are a huge part of that. We want to give you guys as much of the picture as we can, and money is a big part of the picture for all the decisions that we make. It
shows you where your values lie.
And it shows what funds the lifestyle that you guys see. So if you guys see certain aspects and you're asking, oh, is that realistic or attainable? We think this is just one piece of the information that would be weird for us to hold back. The second thing is, we hope that this helps you guys. We hope that you guys can take a look at our finances and maybe it'll start conversations or give you guys some ideas on what to do or what not to do. And the final thing is, for us, this is a huge step of trying to remove shame from our lifestyle, in this case with money. And for some reason, I don't fully know why, there's a lot of shame around money. It feels weird to even talk about. I feel guilty for having money. I feel guilty for spending money. I feel guilty for talking about money. I feel like people might say, oh, they're just bragging, or they're just have no boundaries, or they're like, selfish.
I think it's a lot like if you're really good at, let's say, sports, for you to say like, I'm really good at baseball.
We have a whole series of these videos where we cover what was in our savings account and the assets that we own and our monthly income and our monthly expenses. So this is really just an update of the major things that have changed in the last couple of months. The biggest expense that we had in the last couple of months was our trip to Israel. This was a 2-week trip that we spent with the kids, more than 2 weeks. And the biggest expense for that trip was the tour itself. It was a 10-day tour. It was a Women of the Bible tour. While we were on that tour, all food and lodging was taken care of, and that cost $8,400, $8,400. And the travel expenses associated with that, which was mostly airfare, was $4,500. So that's $12,900 already just on the tour. In addition to that, we spent another $2,000 on lodging and just food, and I don't think we bought any souvenirs, but just like stuff while we were there. So that's $12,013, $14,900, with an extra $450 in expenses for our side trip to London. We spent the day in London and had a tea party there and all that. So when I look at that, I'm like, holy crap, $15,000. That seems like a lot of money. But for me, it was totally worth it. And I would do it all over again because of, I think, the life change that came from being a part of an experience like that. In fact, I would go so far as to say, I don't know a better way to spend $15,000 than to be with a man that has that type of influence and inspires me and teaches me, and I think you and our other kids that much. Like, to me, that's money well spent. The second biggest expense was we wrapped up and finished our neighbor's house here, which we bought a little bit more than a year ago, the one that my sister moved into, who just had the baby 2 days ago. That house we bought for $45,000, and we ended up investing about $45,000 into fully repairing / remodeling or renovating it. So now it's fully rentable. We get about $875 a month, which as of now doesn't change our income, but for a total of a $90,000 investment, I'm pretty happy with how that turned out. And that knocked out a huge chunk of our savings, spending $45,000 like that, but everything was on time and on budget with my friend Eric, so that was really a cool project that I'm really happy with. Because my sister and brother-in-law moved out of a house that's 2 doors down, what finishing this house does is it now opens that house up for potential rental income, which could increase our income now by $1,000 to $1,500 a month. So that, while we don't see any direct income increase yet, next month I would expect, or in the next couple months, I hope to see a fairly significant bump to our monthly income. For those of you that are new around here, all of our income right now comes from 3 places. One is our rental properties that we own. The second is we get about $100 a month from our Patreon account from viewers that contribute. And the third is some businesses that I've owned or operated in the past. I get some very, very sporadic and what we consider undependable income that's not consistent. So we don't base our life on that. Our life is mostly based upon, in terms of planning wise, the income that we get here. A big shift that we made to our expenses this month was bumping Hebrew up to 5 days a week. And actually, I don't know if it was really huge because we were doing 4 one-hour lessons. Either way, that's $800 to $1,000 a month extra, or total. And the reason why it's $800 to $1,000 is because I'm actually trading our Hebrew teacher like business coaching lessons to help get her Hebrew lessons off the ground in terms of like kind of getting more clients in a business. So we're able to trade, which is super cool. But that's let's just say it's $1,000 a month. And I'm really excited about that.
I feel a lot better. It's like you're in school again with your kids.
It's been really fun doing it together. And
it has been really fun.
And Hebrew really fits the values of our family right now and something we value in terms of learning and helping with our academic and our spiritual life. So that's definitely a worthwhile expense for us. 2 other expenses from this month were I fixed my old drone for $324. I don't know what I'm gonna do with this. I don't need 2 drones. And coming back from Israel, we trashed our first GoPro when a beer can exploded in our luggage. The sad part of that is my old GoPro was sitting right next to the waterproof case. If it was in the waterproof case, or in this case the beer-proof case, it would have been fine.
Or if you just put those beers in a plastic bag, it would have been better. But.
So I traded that in, and then for another 300 and, oh no, this was 228. I forget what I said. This was 324. So we're talking about $550 total in vlogging expenses. But I think these will set us up for a while. We don't have any more travel plans with beer cans anytime soon. After paying taxes and finishing up this house, where our bank accounts sit, I'm gonna have you guess this. Did you look at the number? You wanna guess how much we have in our bank accounts right now?
I'm gonna say 30 grand.
Oh, good job. It's 33.
Oh well, that's close.
That's really close. There's been times in our marriage where Cami didn't know, probably to the nearest 100,000 or $500,000 how much was in our bank account. And I'm not very good at these numbers either, actually. So we do have $33,000 in our checking and savings accounts now, which I feel great about, having finished all these major projects. The way I track it is our income basically meets our expenses. We don't pay rent, we don't have any loans, we don't have any debt, we don't have any mortgages or credit card payments. So our rental income pretty much makes us like break even on our lifestyle. So our savings account, which comes from various places, helps take care of some of these larger travel expenses or larger life expenses. And we might burn through that a little bit until we get that house rented out. Okay, well, that's it. That's our finances. It seems fairly anticlimactic to talk about this stuff. This is just like one picture of how we've spent our money for the last 2 months. I mean, you guys see the rest of our lifestyle, so you know what we care about and where we spend our money. And this is, in a way, kind of what I would consider the boring, like accounting stuff, just to kind of like back that up or show a more fuller picture. So I guess in that way, maybe we could expect it to be boring. I personally would love to see more of this out there, especially from people that claim to be Christians, because it's so weird. Like, people that claim to be Christians, what we believe is that our money is not even our own anyways. Like, it belongs to God. And it doesn't dictate our self-worth. It doesn't dictate how cool of a person we are or how valuable we are. And there should be no shame in it, whether you have a little bit or a lot. And so I think we should be free to talk about it. But I don't see it happening very much, and it seems a really risky thing for us to do, but I'm not sure why or where that comes from.
Even why we can even talk about money, the money that we spend, the money that we're getting, how we spend it, because we feel like we have the freedom to do that, because our identity isn't coming from that. It's coming from a man who died for us to take on all of our inadequacies, all of our flaws, everything. And so because of that, we have the freedom to say this is how we spend our money. And we have the freedom, therefore, to be able to rest. So we're gonna rest tonight and tomorrow from the work that we normally do the other 6 days of the week. And I hope that you will be able to find some of that rest in your life as well.
Not many years ago, 5 years ago, I couldn't talk about any financial numbers with complete freedom because I was always second guessing and always feeling guilt over every dollar I spent and every decision I made, because I was like, oh, was it good enough? Did I do it in the right way? Could I have spent less? Should I have bought that? What if people find out? We're not defending our finances, you guys. We're not in the business of doing that. That's why I feel comfort knowing this isn't a how-to. This is just a picture of how we're living. And we feel like our story is actually not so much about us and our choices, but actually about how good God is in giving us a family and the money to support that family. It is Friday and it is our Shabbat day, so we are gonna finish this sausage in here and then we're gonna start resting for the weekend. 1, 2, 3.
Shabbat Shalom! Oh. Oh. Oh.